Totally, it's so weird. Yeah, it's such a paradox. It's like how you plan for months, and 100 people, 300 people plan for months to have a moment that you just become completely spontaneous within. It makes no sense. And so, in terms of preparation for this, I am not Valentine, but the moments where I felt closest to her and where I felt the most honest and also just in the moments where I felt everyone was being surprised by a certain idea that we kind of already knew, but that we rediscovered and on screen, which is what the goal is. You feel closer to yourself. Like when you really, really, really find a moment that works, it's usually when you actually you're not stepping outside of yourself, for me at least. And it depends on what role, obviously. Like, I guess if you're playing somebody who's drastically different to you, but even in that case, most actors that I know and that I relate to could justify mass murder, because if they're playing that part, then there are a million reasons why that person did that. And so it's like, you know what, they had a really fucked up childhood, and so that's just, I would do the same thing. So usually you kind of feel like you're getting like as close to yourself as you possibly can. But yeah, it's weird, because I've also said the opposite. I've also been like, when you can really step outside of yourself. But I think mainly it's not about not being yourself. It's just about letting go of inhibition and awareness of the setup circumstance and finding the truth of why you're there. It's not about losing everything and just like not knowing where you are. It's getting rid of these little setup, logistical things and being able to. I stepped outside of my logistical self and I actually found myself for a second, like for real. And I didn't think about anything else but who was in front of me at that moment. For me.
Awesome. I want to give somebody in the back a chance, the very last row by the exit door. Go ahead.
So I think Val is definitely the more interesting character, and for her to disappear unexplained is pretty upsetting. So two questions, and I don't know whether you want to answer the first one. What happens to her? What do you think happens to her? And second,
That's the whole thing.
And second is why do you think Olivier, or did you ask him why would he want to piss us off like that?
Not a film student.
Yeah, it's like, again, probably why it's surprising that the movie's being sort of somewhat acknowledged here, because it's frustrating to watch the movie, because when questions are asked and never answered, then you have to think for yourself. And you're like, wait, what? But I don't know, dude. I think my answer to that question, which I actually don't know if I should, I think I've answered it, but it's a slippery slope, because again, I do want people to think for themselves. But and this is just me. Like, I don't know. Olivier might feel completely differently. We don't speak about stuff like this a lot, which is another weird, interesting thing. But I think that she was trying to get across this point of view her entire time knowing this woman. And Juliette's character is influenced by mine emotionally, but she doesn't listen. She doesn't listen to a word she says. And I think that the only way to really get her to hear her and actually, like, really, she knows she got her point across was just by shocking the shit out of her and leaving. And I don't think she falls off a cliff or anything crazy like that. I don't think she, like, jumps. I don't think she, like, runs off and dramatically, like, commits suicide. Who knows? Maybe she does. Maybe you think she does. But, yeah, that was my answer for that, because I always really needed, I was like, obviously dying. I was just like, why, where does she go? Does she have, in my mind, she goes back, we don't see it, but she's in the back of the theater, like, watching the show, just to make sure, like, just to curiously, like, I need to see that come to fruition. I think it's like some people that just can't hear. You just need to show them in a different way.
So basically, there should be a sequel, right?
Yeah, it's called Valentine's Song. That's what it is.
Okay, let's get a female. Let's mix this up. I can't see. I hope this. I can't see from here, so I believe it's a female. Go ahead. Stage work is the question, just so people know.
Yeah, I guess I have seen really, like, very, very little. So I think I would need to see more of it. But, even on set, like, if you have a bad crew, and I mean bad, people that don't care, people that are slow, people that are stupid, people that should not be where they are. Like it really affects you. Like it's the worst feeling, and it ruins everything. Like there's just, energy is such a contagious and absolutely true thing. You know, actors that are able to be on the spot and produce authentic, honest work when they're affected badly by people, I look at them like, you are a crazy person. How are you doing this? Like, this is the worst mood on set. How are you able to fake this right now? And so I think to feel that, like, with so many people and day after day have it be a different experience, I think I would really get off on that. And I think it would really pull something out of me. So I think, yes, but that I would need to watch a lot more, because I just have no idea. Such a foreign concept for me. But like right now, I feel like I want to say yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I would definitely want to do that. Yeah. All right.
Should do one bonus. I think we're running early. We'll do one bonus question, please. You went up first.
If you could create the set for the play, would you keep it the same as it was in the movie? Because I feel like it didn't really allow for the intimacy between the two main characters that I felt between their dialogue.
You mean our set, like in Sils Maria? Mm-hmm. In the cabin? In the chalet?
No, in the, like, on stage, the way it was set up on stage, like in the office.
Oh, at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I was surprised to see that too. It's like really extremely sterile, yeah. But at the same time, you know, like within a circumstance like that, or like within that environment, something really charged and like stifled and angry and passionately emotional, whatever happens in a place like that, hot. And also like stifled, you know what I mean? That's like, I could see that, but I feel you. I know what you mean. I was always really curious about the play that would have resulted, like, because, you know, he wrote kind of like a bare sort of outline for what that play would have been like. And I think that probably in his head there was a lot more that we didn't know about. And so I'm really curious about what that play would have been for real. Like, I want to read Maloya Snake more than you could possibly know. But yeah, I never got to.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for coming.